What's going on, guys? This is Empty Box, and today we're going to take a look at RaceRoom Racing Experience, which is a free-to-play racing sim available on Steam currently by Simbin Studios. Obviously, that's a name that many of you guys will be familiar with, and we're going to talk about those things on the left here in a moment. Guarantee it, because it's impossible not to. Right. Yes, a free-to-play racing sim. Interesting in its own right, for the simple fact that I can't think of anything else out there like it in this little area. And I will say, you know, as far as free-to-play games go, it's not the worst, okay, in terms of the whole free-to-play thing. I am not a fan of free-to-play. I think it is a plague to modern gaming and just going to really end up leading us into a place that is going to end up with worse quality games. And I think very oftentimes that free-to-play games are worse because they are free-to-play. I can think of very, very, very few free-to-play games that are better because they are free-to-play. But in terms of their pricing model, it's not that bad. I mean, cars, tracks will generally set you back $3 to $5, somewhere around in there, which isn't necessarily all that bad. Skins, however, this is the part that gets me, are extra. So if you want a particular skin on a particular car, you're going to have to buy the car, then you're going to have to buy the skin. Which skins can cost, you know, about 75 cents, $1, somewhere around in there. It's not that bad. It's definitely not, you know, going to break the bank or anything like that, but it does add up, as well as the fact that, well, you have to buy everything, basically, if you wanted to, you know, really have a full-featured sim, and you're going to end up paying more for it. So I always like to say free-to-play games are always the most expensive games, except for iRacing, because to get the whole thing, the whole product that you would have in a regular title, because you kind of get that bundle discount, I guess you could say, when you buy a full title, you just spend more. But at the same time, I don't feel inclined to buy anything here in RaceRoom Racing Experience because it is free to play. That said, this car track combination is available for free currently. They do have limited time competitions, basically. This is a competition being organized by Falcon Tires to win tickets, if you're a European, that is, to win tickets to the 24-hour Nurburgring race or win some Falcon tires. Unfortunately, I can't win it because I live here over in the good old USA, but you know, anyone can go ahead and try it. You don't need to buy anything. It's entirely free to try, and that's why I'm driving it, because, well, with the whole roof thing in iRacing, as well as, you know, just really kind of needing to give this a go, as well as the fact that, as I kind of alluded there too, I have a flat 6 bias, even though you might not think it. Just very fun cars to drive, and this is a free competition that they're currently putting on, so I figured, you know what, I need to give it a go, because if there's a car that's going to interest me, it's probably going to be that one. And you know what? It's actually surprisingly good. Now, this isn't the first time I've tried RaceRoom Racing Experience. I've tried it probably about 4 times since it came out originally into its open beta that it currently is. And usually I walk away not happy. Just kind of like, eh. Simbin has really lost it, and I don't really need to pay that much more attention to him, but I think with this car, it's kind of made me jump into it a little bit more because I want to like it. Don't get me wrong. This really is actually kind of a blast to drive. It's not the most realistic thing out there, but for something that anyone can play for free, I can definitely foresee this making it very good. gateway drug, if you will. did take a very long while to get the force feedback to something acceptable, which is a massive issue, if you ask me. Racing games should not have control issues. Controls are the only thing that matter in a racing game. It's like a fighting game. A fighting game with bad controls might as well not even exist. Racing game with bad force feedback, bad steering lag, it's a problem. There is a little bit of input lag, but nothing major, nothing enough to drive me insane. Some people are a little bit more sensitive to that than I am, though. No. One thing that really impresses me, though, and I think pretty much impresses everybody with RaceRoom racing experience, is the sounds. If every sim sounded like this, the world would be a much better place. I'll also include a little static trackside camera replay as I complete a lap in this car, so that way you can listen to it as it goes around the track. Sounds pretty cool. Now, of course, I'll also go ahead and include a screenshot of my force feedback settings for my Club Sport wheel. In-game settings, because again, it did take a while to tweak. Still not entirely happy with it, but it feels similar to what you get with Real Feel, if you're familiar with R Factor, which is passable. Now, on to the topic of those things. Yes, the brake markers. It's a nice little slide right there. Certainly a lively car. The brake markers need to go. It's been said that they will eventually go away and be replaced, and there'll be an option. I'm just going to say this right now, I don't know why they were there in the first place, because it makes no sense. If you want to tell people which direction the track goes, put little styrofoam signs with a little arrow, the distance measurements. Simple! Simple, doesn't break your immersion, nothing like that. Instead, you get these stupid giant billboards. No, not having it. Not a fan. Then there's also the one thing that everybody, I think, really would like to see, and that is GTR3, which, for you guys who don't know, GTR2 was probably one of the more legendary sims, probably the most legendary sim that Simbin produced. The team that made that game is now known as Slightly Mad Studios, more or less, which you might recognize that name from Project Cars. So, ever since then, honestly, in my opinion, Simbin's just not been the same. And I don't think I'm the only guy who thinks that, but I don't know, maybe they can get their mojo back. Which, they announced GTR3 and then nothing ever happened with it. They basically released a teaser website that had just sound effects playing in the background, which of course sounded great, and everybody was like, humana, 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 humana. GTR3 with these sounds, GT race cars, these sounds, oh my god, come on. And nothing happened. And then boom, RaceRoom, racing experience. So that basically means, I think to most of us, is we've taken it. GTR3 may or may not ever exist, and it's basically known as RaceRoom racing experience now, which right now the big huge, massive problem with RaceRoom Racing Experience, as well as its brother, DTM Experience Multiplayer. DTM Experience at least has the advantage of AI. RaceRoom Racing Experience does not. Neither of them feature multiplayer. That's something that I believe is going to be coming to DTM Experience in March, which seems kind of strange. But hey, I don't make the rules. I only play by them. So again, I would really suggest right now, while this is still going on, which I believe the competition runs through the end of February, give this car a go. So it has kind of changed my opinions on RaceRoom Racing Experience. Has made me a little bit more interested, eager for Simbin to wake up and say, hey, yeah, GTR3 is a thing, we're gonna make it. We're gonna make it happen. It's gonna be an actual product. So I mean, they already have a lot of GT3 cars available, but here in RaceRoom Racing Experience, but with no AI or anything like that, you can't really race them, which is entirely pointless. So yeah, right by.
Aus dem Rennstall von Corruption One, das ist die ehemalige Mannschaft, die